literally right
Right.
when I said right now, we would have ended.
That's
But
funny.
since we got 2 hours, 44 minutes, and 40 and
Nice.
50
That's nice.
and
That's
50
awesome.
seconds left, we got all day.
All right. Well, I'll take my time with these then. So I'm going to kick things off with my pick six. Today on my pick six, I have one quarterback, one running back, three wide receivers, and one tight end. All of these players owned in fewer than 50% of ESPN NFL leagues. And this was sort of a difficult list for me to make up in a couple of different ways. Um, Primarily because, I mean, what I wanted to do originally was to have two running backs and two wide receivers. But in the NFL, the running back position is so shallow and the wide receiver position is so deep that I was hard pressed to find just one running back, let alone two, to put on this list. That had a solid week one, I believe will be a solid commodity later in the season. It was tough for me to find a running back. Easier for me to find wide receivers. So I decided to go three wide receivers on this list. If you play fantasy football, you'll know what I'm talking about. Running backs just not as readily available, not as widespread. So I'll start things off with my quarterback on the pick six list. And that quarterback would be Alex Smith. Alex Smith came off an incredible comeback. The Chiefs came back and beat the Chargers, I believe, 33-27. And the Chargers, just a sad loss for them. Really disappointing. But for the Chiefs, Alex Smith had an excellent game. 363 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He added a touchdown on the ground with his legs, 4 carries, 15 yards on the ground. Look, this guy is a guy that has a high floor, and we like that in fantasy. To have a high floor means that there isn't really going to be a given day where you expect Alex Smith to have a terrible game. For some quarterbacks, you look at a matchup, and if it's a tough matchup, you might say, oh, they have the potential to pass for 175 yards, 2 interceptions. Right? That is not as, I mean, of course anything can happen, but that's not as likely of a scenario for Alex Smith. He is a solid guy. He'll get you points every week. And in our league, and the way ours is set up, he scored 35 points in our league. He is, however, owned in our league because the league that I'm the commissioner in, it's a 2-quarterback league. So
Who owns him?
hence why.
In our league?
Alex Smith.
Yeah. Which team?
Minister of Destruction is the team. Ben Krebs.
Yes.
So yes, I'm not even sure if he started him this week though. Nope, he did not. But that is understandable given the fact that he had Matthew Stafford and Drew Brees, two other guys that
you start
put up
those guys over
solid
Smith.
points. Yeah, I think I would. Now it obviously depends on matchup for them, but I like Alex Smith because at one point you would have asked me about Alex Smith. I would have said he's got a low floor, but he's also got a low ceiling. Like he's just going to be right there in the middle.
He's going to be crouching.
Pretty much. After this performance that I saw out of him, and I know it's a pretty bad defense in the Chargers, but you look at his upcoming schedule. He's got the Texans and the Jets coming up in weeks 2 and 3. That'll be tough. Afterwards, they're at the Steelers. Very soft secondary. Then they've got a bye in week 5. Then they're at the Raiders, a team that Drew Brees absolutely lit up this past week.
Drew Brees or Alex Smith? Because who are we talking about right now?
Drew Brees. No, I'm saying Drew Brees lit up the Raiders.
Okay.
So I'm talking about Alex Smith and his schedule. He's got the Steelers. Then he's got the Raiders. I said the Raiders, a team that Drew Brees lit up. So the Raiders don't really have that good of a defense. So got Steelers, you got Raiders, then you got Saints, a team that Derek Carr lit up. And then you got the Colts and the Jaguars. And after that, you start to get into tougher defenses. They've got Carolina, Tampa Bay, Denver. But through that stretch through weeks, looks like 4 through 8, he has 1, 2, 3. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 5 very soft secondaries. I like Alex Smith heading down into that stretch. Alex Smith is my pick six quarterback. Moving on to my running backs, or should I say running back, because I was hard pressed, like I said, to find running backs to put on this list. It was a rather difficult job. However, I was able to pull one up, a guy that I like, and I've got to now find him here on the list. There we go. I got him. Chris Thompson, running back for the Washington Redskins. His stat line this past week is not necessarily incredible, but it's solid enough to warrant looking into further, especially given the guy that is the starter currently in Matt Jones. Thompson, only 4 carries, 23 yards. He did run for a touchdown. He had 2 catches for 16 yards. Look, Matt Jones is solid, but Matt Jones is not the next Barry Sanders, right? Matt Jones is not an amazing running back. He's serviceable, and you should still own him in fantasy. But I think there is a scenario, a definite possibility that we see Chris Thompson taking over Matt Jones' job in Washington. Because I think the Redskins like both guys. And I think at this point, it is Thompson's job to take over. I think that Matt Jones is sort of hanging by a thread. Didn't have the greatest performance against the Steelers, and Thompson, I think, is a talented guy too. I think that even if Matt Jones retains a starting job, we'll see Thompson involved at the goal line and as a receiving back. He'll be a change of pace back, a sort of third down back. I like Thompson, so hold on to him. And if something happens to Matt Jones at all this year, possible injury or something of that nature, Thompson's value skyrockets for me. He is a guy to own, maybe not to start every week, but he's a guy you definitely want to stash on your rosters, especially if you're in need of a running back or in deeper leagues. So he is my running back for the pick six. Now we've got 3 wide receivers. And like I said, wide receivers, a deeper position here. My first wide receiver is, now you might accuse me of being a homer here and just sort of going that route, but it is Eli Rogers. Eli Rogers, wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, sort of had a fluky game this past week. If you watched it, his only touchdown, he caught 6 passes for 59 yards. By the way, his only touchdown came on a strike to Sammy Coates from Ben Roethlisberger, which ricocheted off Coates and into the arms of Eli Rogers. So of course that was a fluke play. You can't count on that happening every week. But the 6 for 59 line is encouraging. I like Eli Rogers, especially since Martavis Bryant is out for the entire year. And of course, Marcus Wheaton is going to come back this week. He was out with an injury. But the Steelers' tight end situation, since they lost Miller, is nothing solid. We don't know about Ladarius Green. You got, I'm drawing a blank. Who's the other? Jesse James, other tight end for the Steelers. Their tight end position is not incredible. I think there's a potential he could be the number 3 receiver. And on a team like the Steelers, a high-powered offense, I think he's going to be the number 3 receiver, potentially competing with Sammy Cooks for the number 3 spot. But he'll definitely be there behind Antonio Brown and Marcus Wheaton. The stat line is encouraging for him this week. Eli Rogers is my first pick 6 wide receiver. And I've got a couple more, but I am acting rather long-winded. So I know we have a lot of time, but maybe I can take this moment now. Tyler's going to mention something quick. I'll take this moment to look up the...
yeah, I had a question for you real quick. What happened to was it Miller? Heath Miller? What happened?
Heath Miller. He retired last year.
Okay, I can't remember.
Yeah. Yep, he it sort of happened actually rather quickly. I wasn't as much paying attention to that, but yes, he did retire. So, and then Ladarius Green suffering with possible head injuries, which he's been having headaches, which could be related to hits to the head. So
yeah,
that's why his status is uncertain. Okay, I'll just finish up then here. I've got a few more.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Second wide receiver. Let's see what I'm doing here is just pulling all the names up from ESPN as I look at them, just look at their stats. Philip Dorsett. He got 4 balls for 94 yards. Now, granted, this was a game the Colts threw a lot. But here's the thing. The Colts will be throwing a lot week in, week out. and there is a big chance that Dorsett can be the number 3 receiver on this team. He'll be fighting with the tight end Dwayne Allen for that spot. But Dorsett had 4 catches for 94 yards, didn't score a touchdown, but that's an encouraging stat line. I like Philip Dorsett. He'll be behind, of course, playing behind Dante Moncrief and T.Y. Hilton most of the year. But on a team like the Colts, they throw the ball a ton, if you didn't know that. Andrew Luck had a huge game last week, and Dorsett did benefit. So expect Dorsett to be heavily involved. He's my number 2 receiver. My pick 6. Pick number 4. Yep, pick number 4. Got 2 more for you. My 3rd wide receiver, Quincy Enunwa, and he had a bigger game than the other 2 receivers did. He's a wide receiver for the New York Jets. Quincy Enunwa caught 7 passes for 54 yards and a touchdown. So actually scored the same amount of points as Eli Rogers. And so I like Enunwa going forward. He's my number 3 receiver. Next up, actually, the final guy in the pick 6 here, tight end Kyle Rudolph. Now, of course, this is going to be hinging definitely upon the quarterback situation. We don't know what it's going to look like, if Sean Hill's going to be starting, or if Sam Bradford's going to be starting. He caught 4 passes for 64 yards. I feel like that he's going to be a security blanket for whoever's starting a quarterback. He'll be a red zone option, and I think that Norv Turner in that offense, they like him a lot. Mike Zimmer likes him. The entire Vikings team likes him, and I think that we are going to see big days from Kyle Rudolph in the future. Tyler, that was really long, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was. That was actually 16 minutes.
Nice. All right, your turn. I'll look up.
Too bad this isn't the Rambling Rankers, otherwise that would
that'd fit right in.
That would have. All right, so got a couple of things, some new albums coming out, reviews, and preview of Uprise. To start off, we're going to just go through some new albums coming out. There's a couple that I would like to say, but I'm going to hold off due to the band not saying them yet. And Caleb, you know what I'm talking about. Don't say the band.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep. All right, so some new albums coming out this year. Disciple has one coming out October 14th. It's called Long Live the Rebels. Hopefully they actually play some of their new stuff at Uprise this year. Can't wait to see them. Then we got Papa Roach. I believe they haven't announced when the album's going to come out, but I believe it's this year, 2016. If not, it's going to be early next year. Not sure quite yet when that will be coming out. Also, the band Love and Death. They have a new album coming out this December. They have a single out right now called Lo Lamento. You can go check that out. It's a really good song. And then Veridia has a new album coming out sometime soon. They have not announced whether it's going to be this year or next year. But they have a new single coming out this Friday, which will be the day that we put this podcast out. So go check it out. It'll be called Still Breathing. You can also find that song, the acoustic version, I believe it's for free still on Noise Trade. Don't hold me to that. I haven't checked for a while. And you can also find it on YouTube. And then one more that I want to mention that just came out today. The band that I've liked for a really, really, really long time. Caleb, I'll let you guess this one. Can you take this?
This is a band you've liked for a really long time. Is that the only hint you're giving?
Let me think. I saw them at Uprise last year for the first time.
Okay. Is it? You saw Uprise last year for the first time. How many years have you been going to Uprise?
2 years.
Okay.
This will be my third this year.
That one previously. Is it Metallica?
No.
It's not Metallica. It wouldn't be Skillet either because you would have seen them the first year. That's what I would.
I've seen them 3 times actually.
Yeah. That's what I would have assumed. It's not the previous band that you alluded to. No, actually, no, they weren't even at Uprise.
No, they haven't even been at Uprise.
I'm thinking I'm gonna throw out a couple. Family Force 5.
I've seen them twice already.
Crutch, Red.
No, it's not Red.